Elon and I, we're not politicians, we're businessmen. We're not going in as government bureaucrats or even employees, we're outside volunteers. And perhaps most importantly, we have set a finite expiry date on this project. We don't want DOGE to exist forever. Elon and I are going to start a separate track of DOGE casts that explain exactly what we're doing to the public to provide transparency in what is a once-in-a-generation project. We want to bring the public along with us, to lift the curtain, to take us behind the scenes of what actually that waste, fraud, and abuse in government looks like. However bad you think it is, it's probably worse. But we don't want to do this to just expose the problem. We want to do it to solve the problem.
That's Vivek Ramaswamy on the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. We got to deal with a new Democrat attack line right now. Senator Elizabeth Warren is attacking it. Let's welcome to the show economic advisor to President Trump, Steve Moore. Always wonderful to see you again, Steve. First, this, how much can Trump do with DOGE with executive actions? Because we got Senator Elizabeth Warren falsely claiming they want to cut Social Security benefits. They don't. I mean, so you know what I mean? So we're talking 3.7 trillion in green crony capitalism, government overpayments since 2003. Yes. What can Trump do with executive actions?
Well, by the way, when they start using this phony argument that Trump wants to cut Social Security benefits, it's actually we want to cut all of this waste and inefficiency so we don't have to cut Social Security benefits, so we don't fall off a cliff. And look, you mentioned earlier this idea of getting this was in the clip that you played by Vivek Ramaswamy saying we got to get the public behind us. Well, the public is behind them. You know, the public, everyone knows. Everyone watching this show knows there's hundreds of billions of dollars of waste in the budget. We know that. We've known that for 20 years. And finally, we have a president who's going to do something about it.
But can he do it with executive actions? Can he do it with executive action?
Well, right. So we'll see about that. Some of the things, yes. Some of the things he can do, for example, a lot of those regulations that you were talking about and that Vivek was talking about were never approved by Congress. And we know from the Supreme Court decision earlier this year, those now have to be approved by Congress or they go away. So I think the president could get rid of a lot of those. But I'm here to tell you that we're also going to need the support of Congress for a lot of these things, for defunding a lot of these programs. And let's see if these guys have the backbone and the spinal fluid to get rid of wasteful spending.
I mean, the government has grown. It's inflationary what's going on. And I know that we're hearing that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're going to bulletproof what they're doing with Supreme Court rulings to ward off Democrat lawsuits and court battles. But the thing let's go through it, how bad Biden, this White House was. He went around Congress to change the entire economy, extremist unconstitutional electric car mandates, banning gas cars, cutting it to oil and gas, student loan bailouts, firing workers who didn't get COVID shots, indoctrinating students with far-left ideologies. He did that with a lot of it with the stroke of his pen. And we have the highest grocery inflation since the 70s, since Nixon, with a lot of inflationary government spending. So are we going to see government workers fired? Are you going to see agencies gone?
Let's hope so. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of agencies, and many of them have existed since World War I, for goodness, Liz, and nobody even knows what they do. I mean, there's $300 billion green energy slush fund in that Inflation so-called Reduction Act. Right. Let's get rid of that. We can't afford it. My God, we're running a $2 trillion deficit. There are tens of billions of dollars of COVID money, Liz. Tens of billions of COVID money. Well, let's not spend it. COVID is over. So yes, they can do this, and the American people are totally behind them. And that's the way you prevent having to cut the programs that Americans care about. You've only got less than 10% of federal workers showing up on the job 40 hours a week. If they're not going to come in, Vivek is right, fire them.
Steve Moore, we hope you stay around a long time. Trump economic advisor Steve Moore. Appreciate you so much, Steve. Thanks for joining us.